Very well. So, once again, we have 6 guiding pillars here with the Eternal Vigilance Fleet that was not only given to you within a document that you were told to review near the complete start of this, but as well as that, we have been going over them one way or another throughout these days. Is anybody aware of what these 6 guiding pillars are? If you already know and or were informed, but yeah. If you were informed earlier today, do not already answer.
I've been known the answer. I don't want to say it. I want to let someone else go.
So does anybody have an answer for me? Yes,
Hello?
Shadow. You're in a really big shadow right now, Shadow. Sorry, I couldn't tell. Oh, while we're waiting on Shadow, does anybody else have a gander? I will accept guesses. Put your hand down, Helix. Yeah, Shadow?
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to fight my dog because she grabbed my fucking cord and ran away with it. It is learning, honor, respect, fun, and something with an H. I don't remember the last one. That one.
So, he labeled 4 out of the 6. Can anybody tell me what the other 2 are?
What did he label off? What was it?
Learning, fun, honor, and respect is what I labeled off, and then one was an H. Oh!
Yes, Shadow.
Humility. Damn! I can't say the thing.
Humility?
H-U-M. Humility. And,
there we go.
Family.
There we go.
So I do believe the word you're looking for is humility, not humidity.
I couldn't
He labeled
for the life
all
of me.
6. So, with that, can anybody answer questions on why learning is one of our 6 guiding pillars?
Oh, brap.
Yes, Raptor?
Could you say that one more time just to make sure?
Why learning is one of our 6 guiding pillars.
Learning encourages growth. Growth encourages learning and also adaptation. You follow through with each one, it will progress you further in your own chain, whether it be with the chapter or in life.
Yeah, Rooney, wonderful. Notice how we added that in life. We teach you guys not only to be the best Warhammer wrestlers out there,
Okay.
but we teach you with our rules how to be a respectable member of your in real life community. Yes. Yeah. Alrighty, so
He's got a
our
goddamn
next
good
one.
point.
Why is fun one of our guiding pillars?
Oh, brap.
Borrowing. That is one of the reasons why we have fun. We also have fun for the fact of, we're brothers. We love each other. We hang out. We are here to have that fun. Man, I love lag. Holy shit. We are here to have that fun
chat.
to grow with each other, leading into learning. So, can anybody tell me why honor is one of our 6 guiding pillars? Yes, Helix, your hand started rising first.
It's our conduct in and outside of battle. If we have no honor, then we have no name.
Exactly. Honor helps us not only conduct ourselves as people, but the chapter as well as the fleet as a whole. Holy shit! Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Honor helps you conduct yourself as well as our entire fleet. Being able to uphold a sample of respect for yourself as well as people around you. Why is respect one of our guiding pillars? Yes, Watcher.
Without it, you're nothing.
Didn't really like that answer. Anybody got a good one?
Damn.
Yes, Raptor.
With respect and honor, they fall in line with each other. If you honor someone else above your rank, or at least the brother standing next to you, it falls in line of trust as well.
Yeah, but
If you can honor their decisions, you can trust their decisions.
Yep, Rooney, they go hand in hand. Everything within this list of our 6 pillars interacts with one another in some way, shape, or form. Respect for yourself, which goes hand in hand with honor and upholding yourself, as well as respect for anybody. Just because Sally has had poor attendance to these NC officer reevaluations, I still respect him the same I would regardless. Because without respect, we can't have our core values. Not to mention, respect is something that we need to earn. Yeah. Respect is incredibly important for our NCO and officerhoods. So, can anybody, this one's really easy, tell me why family is one of our 6 guiding pillars? Yes, Raptor.
With family comes blood, and with blood comes loyalty. Stand with your family, you stand with the rest. It is not just about duty or honor at that point. It is also standing with those who you call brother.
A very well-formed and lore-accurate answer. With that being stated, we are a giant fucking family in the fleet. The sisters, the Astartes, the brand new baby newborn guardsmen. We are all a family. Regardless of how... Man, I lag. Am I back? Okay. With that being stated, family is something that connects all of us. We are here for not only one another, regardless of how long, but on top of that, with us and our core values, we are here to help one another, regardless of what they are going through. And then, one I accidentally skipped, humility. Why is humility one of our 6 guiding pillars?
Sidebar question. You're gonna have to repeat a lot of the actual questions for me because you're lagging. This shit sounds like a slideshow to me.
Give me 2 second Dito's yellow comms while I return. I'm gonna see if rejoining fixes it.
Samesies.
No longer lagging as much as I was 2 seconds ago.
For me, it's the same.
Alrighty. So, once again, one I skipped. Why is humility one of our 6 guiding pillars? Once again, Raptor.
Could you say that one more time? I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie. I was distracted by Shadow eating the whole plate.
Once again, why is humility one of our 6 guiding pillars? Liush, are you trying to attempt to answer it by pointing at yourself?
No, I'm thinking, my bad.
Any hands? Raptor once again.
From humility breeds discipline. You are not omnipotent. You are not all-knowing. Discipline will encourage you to learn certain elements that you were unaware of.
Yep, a Rooney, humility. Being able to acknowledge that you can make mistakes. Stubborn-headedness, which is a problem some of us coincide with, including myself. We need to realize that maybe we should be more open to certain things. Not to mention, Acknowledge that sometimes we are the one at fault, whether we see it or not, as well as that your rank does not mean a damn if people do not respect you throughout your own actions. But can everybody currently see how these six guiding pillars intermingle with each other and build off one another?
Yeah.
Affirmative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty, wonderful. So, for today's class, I just want to show off a really cool world. So, we're going to go to a world instead of our funny little classroom.
Yay? Question mark.
It's pretty cool.
Question mark.
Shadow, you're going to be my beautiful door guard. 5 seconds in between joining. So,
But,
today
the
we are
lava
going to
does-
talk.
My bad.
So we are going to talk about, once again, the beautiful thing of example and standard. Leadership is not what you say. Leadership is what people copy. Remember, we are always being watched. We are mentors, guides for these lower enlisted with our skill sets and so on and so forth. Within our first segment, Marlon, are you already recording? Alrighty. So, with our first segment, visibility equals your influence. You are always being watched. Being visible means that while you are being watched, anything you do can influence a member. But how can that influence our people just by being seen by the enlisted? Yes, Raptor, you had your hand up first.
Breaking rules equals undiscipline. If others decide to follow said teacher, it breeds a very much higher level of undisciplined actions. For instance, breaking
Yep.
more rules whether than not.
Yep, Rooney. Anybody else have their own viewpoint on that? How else it could influence? Marwin? Egg. Mhm. Exactly. With that, do as I say and not as I do. People are always going to mimic us. We are what they look to, what they strive to be one day. We do not want to be seen as a little and let them know that that is okay by us ourselves doing it. We are always being watched by these little enlisted, and they are pretty much just baby ducklings waiting to have an imprint on them. It can severely stunt their growth if they're imprinted on wrongly. On top of that, with us being of our rank, it makes us quite a lot more visible. If an enlisted was to act out, other enlisted may not think that that's the right way to act via their own opinion. However, with us being NCOs and officers, they're gonna think that, oh, hey, he's doing that. I definitely can if he's allowed to. Especially since they assume we know all that we know exactly how we should act and what is permissible. Small habits that we may do, such as me every now and then lifting myself up with my OVR to get on eye height with you individuals. If members see that habit, because of my rank being an N3, they might think it is all right to copycat that. But what does this do to me? It gives me tippy toes and lets them think that they can just whenever they want to properly do that. However, we don't have that. Anything that you do will be noticed. Members are going to model what you guys do. Not only that, what you guys tolerate. If you start tolerating people actively not shutting up for PTS, so on and so forth, they're going to think, oh, not only can people get away with that, I can too. If you tolerate such actions that should be punished and or reprimanded, they're going to think they can get away with it just as much as the other individual. Essentially, what I'm getting at is, regardless of whether we are dismissed or not, we are always being watched by our enlisted when in on-duty instances. There is not technically ever an off-duty for us. We are always being watched by our own actions. Are there any questions, concerns, and or statements anybody would like to make with this segment?
Negative.
Nope.
Wonderful. So, our first question within this segment. We are now going to DMs. How does rank amplify any of my actions? Specifically your own. All right, most of the answers have been given, with the best answers I got from Aspect and Helix. Aspect responded to the question with, we are still an influence on lower enlisted. It makes it a harsher punishment due to the fact they look up to us, and if they see us doing such things, they will think it is okay. Once again, with the imitation, they are imprinting off of us within our own actions. Helix gave the answer. Any small action done by an NCO and officer could be seen as enlisted or others as repeatable and acceptable behavior, even though it is not supposed to be done and could escalate to rule breaks. Does anybody have further questions or deliberations on that, or do they feel they fully understand the weight of this question?
It
All
is
good.
Understood.
All good here.
Alrighty. So, with our next question in this segment, what habits would spread if people copied you? This is personal to each and every one of you. What habits do you think the enlisted could pick up upon from yourself? I'll repeat it once again. What habits would spread if enlisted copied you? Alrighty, I've already gotten some of the answers. I'm going to be going through a decent few of these. James, if people were to copy himself and his actions, dancing around while people are talking, that would definitely not be the greatest look. Shadow's response was playfully smacking people who he is friends with on duty. That is definitely, just like James's, a bad thing, because it can not only be taken as disrespect, but as well as that, who wants an enlisted to go, okay, blah, 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 smack in their face? Helix gave the answer of sitting down and OVRing in formation. Not to mention how he talks sometimes, talks to some of the officers on as well as how he talks to some of the officers on duty, sometimes sitting on the Thunderhawk wing, being somewhere he shouldn't, and talking most of the time probably when he shouldn't. Watcher and his response were saying on thug. It's a thing he says quite a lot and has gotten quite a big habit. And actually, he has seen quite a few people start saying it because of his own actions. He thinks he might need to stop it. With that being stated, that is a pretty bad thing. Not too horrible, however, it is quite a clear example of how people take your actions, no matter how small, and will actively follow us. Raptor gave the response of discipline and respect, as well as dodging. Following discipline breeds loyalty and respect, but dodging implements the survival. So that is a good example of what you would want the enlisted to be taking from yourself. Marwin gave the response. When in full body at an event, I like to stand at attention and look orderly. Looks like we know more. Hopefully the others will like that orderly adult look. It's a battle for the eyes first. Always, once again, with you being able to imprint on these people, and some of us already have imprinted. They take our actions fully and seriously because they assume we know what we're doing. With how we are with the fleet, we are teaching them to be better, which also means, while doing all this, we have to learn how to be better ourselves, for not just ourselves, but them. You taking up this duty of NCO and officerhood is something that spans the cross of the entire fleet, our entire ideals within the Warhammer community and making it a better place. Essentially, the takeaway from this is if at all you are visible, you are influential, whether you want to be or not. Whatever you may be doing will have an influence one way or another. Alrighty, have a good one, Soundwave. Now we're going into class segment 2. Shocker, we only had 2 questions for that one. The unseen effects of your behavior. Yes, Raptor.
Must step away due to family reasons.
Very well. But the unseen effects of your behavior. Everything that will happen, the influence that you give, happens quietly. Your jokes, your tone, and effort will all affect the way people are influenced. Negligence being shown openly, such as cough cough cola. Not to hate on the man, however, it has been evident in recent. It just makes people feel that they themselves can as well be negligent. Not to mention, the higher the rank, anything below you will take influence from you. Like, I know a decent few of us want to act like Gabe. Some of us take influence from Flaming. And maybe, just maybe, 1 or 2 of us would take from Cola. The higher your rank, the more influence you have. And the more influential your actions may be, negative and or positive. Consistency matters far more than intensity. With our standard, we want to be consistent, like we've been talking about throughout the past weeks. Being consistent matters because it shows people this is what they need to do. There are not any exceptions. Regardless of rank, rules still apply, so on and so forth. People will notice what you all ignore, such as a certain rule or anything else, and run with it. We are completely influential people here while doing what it is we are doing. Are there any questions on that before I get into the questions? Was it completely understood?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Alrighty. So, our first question within this segment is what damage is done when leaders ignore small issues? This is an in general, not just influence. What damage is done when leaders ignore small issues? We got some good answers from Raptor as well as Helix. Raptor responded with, ignoring small issues causes a information of lack of concern for lower enlisted, meaning that if you ignore an issue, no matter how small, it can then make people think, oh hey, this thing isn't all that important, when every issue that is ever brought to us, no matter how big or small, is important and should be handled. Helix gave the answer of small issues ignored lead to possible roads to larger rule breaks, or it could make it be seen, make us be seen as an unorganized group for not enforcing our own posted rules. It is very much true. I'm also going to sidebar into Shadow's answer being damage to trust from the units that see it. If you ignore these small issues, not only can it build discontent, like what we talked about on day 4, but as well as that, make people think that certain things can be gotten away with because you are ignoring an issue regardless of its size. Anybody have any questions or deliberations on that one?
Negative.
Alrighty. Next question is, why do people mirror effort more than instruction? Why would people mirror effort more than instruction? To clarify, why do people mirror your actions more so than instruction? Alrighty, a wonderful answer given to us by James and Helix. James stated personally, it depends upon the action. If it was a successful action, people will be more inclined to repeat. The successful action more than a unsuccessful action. Essentially meaning, if you are trying to set an example, a standard, if you will, with your own actions, people will follow your actions if they go full through to right, instead of you failing at your own actions. Because depending on how that action is perceived, not only how you yourself are doing, will depend on how they believe in said action. Helix stated why would they put in as much effort as they could when instructed, when they are seeing that somebody else is doing, holy shit, completely wrong in my words. Why would they put in as much effort as they could when instructed, when they see you doing the least amount of work possible to do the said task, even though you told them to do it a specific way? If we are being hypocritical and telling somebody to do one thing one way, and then we ourselves do it another, that can be taken as people getting ignored, pushed to the side. Not only that, it shows that you yourself are not setting yourself to the expectations that you are setting other people to. Are there any questions or deliberations on this segment?
Nada.
Negative.
Alrighty, wonderful. Our class segment 3 will be Lovestick Drift. Class segment 3, representing the fleet everywhere. Leadership extends beyond when we are just on duty and in instance. Because I know a lot of us have friends outside of the chapter that are from within the chapter. You're going to represent the fleet within your actions, especially with Eternal Vigilance Fleet members, even when off duty. Public behavior reflects on everybody, especially if some of us forget to not rep the group when we're off duty or in public. People will see the way we act and actively assume that's all we are. Even to complete VR chat strangers, or possibly when out recruiting, how you act lets people know and or guess at how we actually run things based upon your own actions. Professional conduct during all these times builds credibility, not only for yourself outside of the group, but as well as within. People can learn to have leadership for you. Trust. Your reputation will be built slowly, because we have all had quite a manner of time to get to the position we are, but in the snap of a finger, you can lose it completely out of the blue, because anything and everything that you do is reflected upon to yourself. Anything bad can absolutely skyrocket. The same way anybody, even though they have earned their time, made their effort, can absolutely get demoted if they do some fuck shit. Are there any questions or statements on this segment?
Nope.
Negative.
Alrighty. So our first question is, what behaviors damage the fleet's reputation the fastest? I've got 3 answers that were undoubtedly, that were good for this segment. We had Helix, Watcher, as well as Aspect. Helix's answer to the question was harmful behaviors such as disrespecting other groups and people, saying racial slurs, etc. damage our reputation the fastest. Being disrespectful is our number 1 rule on what not to break. Regardless of who you're being disrespectful to, not only can it react negatively upon you, but the fleet as a whole. Watcher's answer to this was being non-disciplined, not having that humility. It can cause more and more problems to not have humility because it looks as if you don't care. If you are acting undisciplined and proceed to not even acknowledge your own actions, it can certainly seem like you don't give a shit. And with you not giving a shit, what really are the other officers or NCOs doing? Because not only can your actions reflect negatively upon yourself, but the people around you or the people you interact with, such as the entire fleet. aspect gave me the answer of disrespectful towards other actions in or out of the fleet instance, such as recruiting or otherwise. Being seen disrespecting people in general not only puts strain on your own respect towards on people's respect about you, but as well as that will actively affect the group as a whole, especially if you are in any way, shape, or form representing the fleet. Does anybody have any questions or deliberations about that?
No.
Nope. Negative.
Alrighty. Our next question is, what standard should leaders default to when representing in front of other communities, i.e. other groups, such as allies, war partners, and so on and so forth? Once again, the question is, what standard should leaders default to in other communities? I got two beautiful answers from James Areno and Marwin. James gave the response, we should default to our standard within the fleet, especially, and even so regardless, if the other group is being lax. With ally ships such as the Imperial Fists and or the Halo people, Noble Ascendancy, there we go.
Noble Ascendancy.
Yeah. Within the Noble Ascendancy, we should always default to our standard, our rule set, how we conduct ourselves, silent, always presentable, so on and so forth. Because of the fact they will have a respect for our standards and morals if they see us. Not to mention, it represents us in a beautiful light if, especially, way ages ago, way back when I was a captain, story time. We had a joint training with the Imperial Fist. I cannot tell you how many times they said the N-word, came up to our line disrespecting us, shit-talking members. Yet, it was a beautiful time where our members had self-restraint, which is a wonderful leadership skill, and proceeded to not indulge in all that. They didn't respond to them. They didn't take heed of their words. They did not get angry or riled up, at the very least publicly known to the other team. It's very important that regardless of how the other people act, we uphold our standard to represent ourselves as well as to have that respect within ourselves. Marwin answered, the standard that should be shown to other communities should be how official we are with our own people and the level of respect we have for one another. Yes, Shadow.
Torture wishes to join. He's a new NCO, but I can't invite him. My thing's not working. If you could.
If anybody else has the ability to invite him, I would be very grateful if you could.
On it.
Alrighty, so, but pretty much the same thing as James's answer. Being able to show that we respect our own people as well as are able to conduct ourselves officially as NCOs and officers makes other people not only grow a form of respect for us, if that is the way their mind so chooses to perceive us, but on top of that, it helps the people within our own chapter realize our actions and not fold, especially if anything hectic is on with the other side. If he joins, James, you're gonna grab him and pull him through yellow.
Can do.
Essentially, the takeaway from this segment, because, shocker, we only had 2 questions in that one also, is you never stop representing the fleet. You, at any point in time, you are always, because you have taken the oath, the honor, the duty of being an officer and NCO, at every moment in time, people are looking to you, especially if you are repping the group off duty in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, the segment 4 is going over humility and respect, 2 of our wonderful pillars. Humility shows confidence within yourself, being able to acknowledge your own failures and work upon them. Leaders do not need to prove their rank consistently, because you should be doing actions that uphold your rank. Respect grows when leaders admit their own mistakes. because it will most oftentimes lead to members such as, recently, we had a member named Gazetteer. Bruh. He was nameplating. He actively, openly admitted to it. However, that shows that he had humility. Something that one of us gave him influenced him to actively out himself and acknowledge his mistake. Don't worry, the issue with it has been already dealt with and fixed. He is a new member and new to Warhammer in general, but it has been dealt with. Something that some of us struggle with, definitely more so than others, no disrespect intended. Ego creates distance. If you are absolutely narcissistic or act like you are completely better just because of your rank, people will take note of that. They will distance themselves from you, because who wants to be friends and or listen to somebody who's egotistical? Not to bring up past shit, but for some of us, we all know a man with a V in his name was definitely a decent bit egocentrical. Does anybody know why that was a big problem for him to especially have, and why that may have made it where he was looked downward upon? Yes, Helix.
It made the whole group look bad, and we're still trying to fix that our reputation to this day, because people still see us as him.
Rooney. He was a big, beautiful 06, and his actions not only represented himself as an individual, but the fleet as a whole. Having humility within yourself builds Having humility within yourself builds trust, not only with other communities, with complete VR chat strangers, but within the fleet itself. It is really important that you check yourself before you wreck yourself. Self-control is a beautiful thing. So, does anybody have any statements and or questions on that?
Nada.
Alrighty, wonderful. So with all that being stated, we are going to be moving into the final two questions of the class segment. So, how does ego undermine any authority you may have? Once again, I will repeat, how does ego undermine authority?
Okay, my bad.
So, I got some beautiful answers from Helix and Raptor. Raptor, he knows that there is a positive ego as well as a negative ego. Sometimes people respect themselves so highly and have a reason to that they may up themselves. There are good ways to present yourself as well as negative ego. If you are confident in your actions and with your actions, you have respect in yourself and others as you take them, it can take you further. If you're negative with your ego, it will lead to a downfall. Not just in you, but the people you lead and the people that get to witness your ego. Helix gave me the answer of ego undermines authority as people, holy shit, man, I love stuttering, won't take what they say to the fullest, as they're wondering if it is their ego talking. As well as that, someone with ego, with their ego not in check, will not be seen as a proper leader compared to someone with their own self-disciplined ego. We all have it, whether we will notice it or not. We all have a way we think of ourselves, essentially our ego, which leads into presenting yourself. If you are actively giving out your ego in a negative format, it can represent poorly upon everybody. But on top of that, if you are able to use that ego in a good way, you can actively not only bring up everybody in their expectations, but as well as that, know that within yourself, there is a great leader in there. People look for leadership qualities in everything. Once again, our enlisted are practically little ducklings waiting to imprint on us. Are there any questions or deliberations with that question?
Nope. No, sir. Nope.
Alrighty, with the next question, feel free to pull from any personal experiences you may have had. What does humility look like within leadership? I will once again state, what does humility... Goddamn. Oh, that wasn't an answer. I thought somebody fucking immediately answered that. But once again, what does humility look like within leadership?
Can you add a scenario to that? For those of us that don't have a personal one?
It is also a general question. If you have a personal experience where your humility was a leadership action, you can pull from it. However, if you do not have one, it is a general... Still, once again, all of these are open-ended. How you think humility looks within leadership. I got 2 beautiful answers from Helix as well as Raptor. Raptor responded with, humility can show that you are humble. For instance, if your combat skills are good, you don't go flaunting them in front of everybody and let your work show your status. Humility can be shown even if you are not actively talking to somebody, by being a good leader, a good fighter, so on and so forth. Not bragging about it. It shows that you do have humility because people will see yourself. You are not actively bragging. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we do have something within our rules about bragging. And I think it falls under disrespect. Helix's answer was, humility in leadership looks like as if you make a mistake and know you made a mistake, you are able to own up to it and take responsibility for your actions. If you made a mistake and don't feel scared to admit your faults to your members, depending on what it is, it will actively not only build trust, but show people that, hey, we're not all perfect. I know damn well no one in this room is perfect. Ain't a soul on the planet perfect. But with that humility, it helps us grow trust, bonds, familiarity with all these lower enlisted. Are there any questions and or deliberations on this?
Not at all.
Alrighty, wonderful. With that, we are going to move into the practical segment. I want you, officers, to pair yourself with an NCO. If there is no officer present, pair yourself with another NCO. What I'm going to instruct all of you to do is, I want all of you to find a secluded spot on the map and proceed to, either by walking around, looking and talking, pre-plan an event with your co-host and or host that you have been paired with. With that being stated, I just want a full deliberation on what your event is, what classification it is, and what we will be doing. Yes, Raptor.
Would this be qualified as one of those times we have to plan and I quote, the Raven, BCT, basic combat training, or at least...
Planning
class?
Anything you wish. As long as you pre-plan it here, I will have enough confidence within you people that you can pre-plan events in the future. It drastically helps. Because something that I have seen and desperately hated a lot of the time is some of us, that included myself in my past, did not pre-plan events and then just show up and make a plan on the spot. While it works, it is not the best thing possible, because if you already have things pre-planned, you know exactly how you want it to go. Yes, Raptor, I'll get to you in a second.
Damn.
Didn't get to finish. The other question I had was, does this world have a green room?
It does. You are free to explore the map as you wish anywhere. Come up with that plan. I'll get you all separately within your pairings. All that cool stuff. Take as much time as you need, preferably. Damn! You guys have a full fucking hour. I'll give you guys about 45 minutes, give or take, from now to do that. Yes, Watcher.
So you legitimately want us to, like, make an event, but, like, not at the same time? Oh,
Coordinated
okay. So
training with your co-host, all that good stuff. I want you all to be able to give me a report on what you're doing, how you're going to do it, if you're going to be doing anything funny, fun, so on and so forth. Because something I will elaborate on, pre-planning an event is really, really helpful to having it go successful. Back in the day, not to brag.
Okay.
But I almost had... I'll get back to you.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you said not to brag. You just talk about brag not even 2 seconds ago.
I do apologize for that. However, back in the day, Marge was a beautiful co-host whenever I hosted events. We would take an active day and pre-plan events, doing things such as fighting titans, trainings going over dodging artillery, dodge trainings, so on and so forth. Pre-planning these events, they went smooth as butter. It really helps to pre-plan. But if you do not have any further questions for me, feel free to start on pre-planning. Yes, Raptor. Yes, you too.
We free to go?
I got one.
You are not free to go. You are staying within the instance in pre-planning. But yes, go.
Can we come back to you at any time?
So, ladies and gentlemen, you're recording. Am I on camera? Am I pretty? Is my makeup all right? Fantastic.
Double check
Please
it.
don't say that.
Oh, damn!
Stop.
Imaginary high five.
No.
So, is my makeup all right? Fucking brain rot?
Yes.
No.
No, it's
How is that brain rot?
Have you
I
not
was
seen
saying your
TikTok?
makeup is good. That means everything
Oh.
is. That doesn't mean everything. If it's brain rotted, look at the
Holy
definition
shit.
of brain rot.
No, but when
Then
it's
you'll
going
see.
So-
by both. You know what? Never mind.
All right.
Anyway,
Alrighty, so, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are still here, I would like to say, fantastic pre-plans from all of you. I want you people. I cannot strictly enforce it. However, if you are hosting this week, I'd like to witness your pre-plan. I can be informed about it. You do not have to. I see it. Give me a second. But with that being stated, something I want to see with your future pre-plans, if I am ever there for them, is always check spawns. Something that a few of you were confused about and or didn't take into account with Blue Side. 2 spawns are way further walking distance than the middle one. Same with the other side. The middle one is a lot closer, not only to the center of the map, but helps combat happen faster. Plus, some of you did get to notice. I'll get to your question in a second. I said so.
it's a different question about that. About answering that.
Go for it.
The left and right one spawn you in basically the same area. It's literally like 2 feet apart from each other, and the middle one spawns you on top of that area. So that one didn't really change.
Yeah, Baruni. So, I want you guys to look at a map from all angles. Some of you found out something I didn't know when checking out this map. One of the lava pools actually has ground beneath it, unlike a lot of the other lava pools. But I encourage you to figure out any kind of small flaw within the map, because anything that can go wrong will probably go wrong. Plus, with testing out funny game modes, as some of you had great ideas, some of you also had very unique ideas. With them, you want to test these ideas out with your co-host, especially if it involves a custom avatar, making sure it's fair, balanced, and basically, even though it's just with 2 people and maybe wouldn't give you the best idea, it does help to see if you both like it in a practice scenario. But otherwise, you all did phenomenal today. I'm very proud. All of you have gotten marks that I'm finally happy with seeing. Yippee! So congratulate yourself on that. With that being stated, otherwise, you are now dismissed. Beautiful work. Please do encourage other people, all the other officers that were not here today, or all the other NCOs, to also pre-plan. Especially if one of you here has a co-host that wasn't here today, or a host that was not here today. Anyway, with that being stated, fantastic and beautiful work today. Please do encourage people that were not here not only to review the video, because there will be a segment separate to what happened here over how to properly pre-plan, but as well as that, do this further, because you guys actually thinking about it had some wonderful ideas that you could put into place, and I know I'm definitely excited for next week's events if any of you are hosting.
Original fun idea.
I'm doing mine on Tuesday, dog.
I already did freeze tag. You're not original.
No, you
Kidding.
didn't. It was
trying to
my
get a Tuesday.
I
idea.
have a legitimate question.
With Jane.
Yeah, we trying to get it.
Yes, Walker.
So, like last week's video where you had like a little thing at the end, is it going to be like the same thing with the video where like it's just going to be explained?
It's basically going to be a little cutaway to how I personally run my pre-training. What I look for, what I find, all that cool stuff. It is not the exact guide you have to follow. However, I would love if it became the standard. It helps you out phenomenally. Otherwise, everybody but Morrowind can get out of here unless they have any questions. Go on, Scamps.
Like, those
You're
are one of
free.
those, like,
Maryland.
those training videos.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is the practical segment of day 5. Not day 5, day 6. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is the practical segment of day 6. As you can see behind, we have a beautiful map at our display. Something that we will be going over within this practical segment is how, in my personal viewpoint, because anybody can do it in their own format, how to pre-plan for an event. It will, essentially, what pre-planning will go over is how long is it going to take from closest spawn to closest spawn to be able to get into combat. We do not want, if you have a small amount of people, to have to walk 5 minutes to get to combat. With a map such as this, if the camera will please pan, there are a lot of places to walk, run, and it has a lot of distance to it, as well as many hazards to itself, such as the beautiful lava lakes you can see. However, you do want to make sure any faults or things with a map that you can see are actually what they appear to be. While these lava traps have a texture that makes you think that you can walk along them, just tank the damage if you have shield, a lot of these lava pits actively do not have flooring under them, except for a few like this lava pit with a different texture entirely. It actively has floor under it and will deal damage to you. The rest are just pitfalls into the aether. With that being stated, however, there are a lot of things you want to look for. Potential flaws, how far spawns are from one another, not to mention looking at a map with its details and seeing how maybe you can bring a little bit of lore into your event. Not to mention what could be fun. We had a few decent, beautiful suggestions from some of our people today who were at the event. We had long distance training for classes. This is a long ass map with a lot of places that people can run along. Not to mention, you are able to actively use cover to your advantage for dodge trainings. For fun events, if you're in a big enough avatar like a Titan, I doubt those pitfalls will actively, make you fall with how big your feet are. However, you do always want to test these things, because looking through the map and having these individuals look through the map did reveal a few things to me. You can walk over that lava just fine, but with damage, and the rest of the lava has pitfalls. I know I keep coming to that example, but it's the only one coming to my head right now. However, there are spots that people might abuse. If there is something that could go wrong, it most likely will. You want to pre-plan for events like this. Say I want to do an attack and defense on this big, beautiful map, but I only get 10 members. A question that I asked everybody today: what would you do if, for a large map such as this, you had a limited amount of members? Well, I can't really do something with 10 members on this map with my personal experience. I would have to think of a fallback map. Not to mention, be able to see if, with the amount of people I have, if I could actually do something different. Because showing beautiful maps is part of what we do here. There are a lot of funny things, such as we had an idea for Capture the Defense or Payload VIP Escort. We had many beautiful suggestions today, and all of them work on this map. But something that I did see, not too many people planned for fail safes. In case anything does go wrong, you want to be prepared for that. With that being stated, however, always make sure you check out every corner of the map, because something that makes this map great for attack and defense, if my camera will we've got this beautiful yellow door right here. Unlike most maps which may have pink portals for deep strike or have these spawn portals be very advantageous for certain things, the bases here are not too well suited for attack and defense. But with this yellow portal that we are going to go through, you can now see that we are in a highly defensible position. For an attack and defense training, you'd most likely want them to spawn here with the other portals that you saw within the spawn room. They could be more advantageous for attacking something like this. With a additional spawn like this map has, there are many things you can do. You could have all the enemies come from this side, or you can have multiple avenues of attack. There are many different ways to get to this specific isle of land, and it is beautiful to defense. You can give defense a lot more lives than normal, because some maps you have to walk all the way from your spawn over here to get that attack and to get to your defense point, so it doesn't really give you room for lives for the defending team. But with this map, you can spawn right here and give your defenders lives. You want to look at a map from every possible angle, like the firing lines on that ridge, the lower lava pools to possibly conceal your movement, not to mention the open advantages of cover, as well as open sight lines for you to be shot from. You want to look at every single possible thing in the map and be able to approach for it. Something funny about this map, don't tell the enlisted NCOs and officers, but if you'll follow me, come look at this little number. Right down here, we have one of our beautiful lava pools. However, it, as I stated earlier, will lead you to the Aether if you fall in it. But it doesn't do damage. And something that I found, because this map is made weird, all you gotta do is find a spot where the lava is shallow, and now you can hide under it, pop out, and shoot folk willy-nilly as you see fit. You can actively hide under this, use this to your advantage. However, with our rules that we have in place, this is unfair. You want to account for these things, let people either know ahead of time, and or see if there's any way you can just mitigate them knowing it all. We don't want people abusing this. Imagine a Terminator going prone, crawling through this, and then actively just fucking up that defensive position with full health. But essentially, you want to work with your co-host as much as possible to think of beautiful, fun events, practice these trainings with your co-host, and see if they work, because earlier today we did have a worry. Somebody wanted to use a magical wand inventory pickup from VRChat's little inventory system to do to do a capture the flag scenario. But with this system, you can't actively do that. You instantly respawn. It encouraged them to think of a workaround for it. On the main menu, there is a custom death button. There is now time for the individual with the flag, with that button pressed, to drop the flag where they died. With that being stated, there are so many wonderful ideas you can have on every map. I encourage you to be creative. If you just happen to have a training, don't pre-plan for it. You're not going to have a fun training. You're going to be wondering what you should do, what you want to do, and you won't know if half the shit you want your planning will work. We want to have more fun here, fun events here at the Blades, so I do encourage you to have that creative spirit about you and pre-plan these beautiful events. But with that being stated, that is Day 6's practical segment. I hope that within you people seeing this video, that you will be able to properly pre-plan your events. I ask if you were not here today, however, please do let me spectate if you are at all ever going to pre-plan your events on VRChat. DM me, let me know. And that is how, if you were not here today, you will get your practical points. You can earn up to 2. One for the practical and a bonus point given for a special, let's see here. What's the word? Creativity. With that being stated, that is what you should do for anybody who is not here today. However, I hope you use this video to your fullest and actively pre-plan events in the future. I love hearing your creativeness, and I loved hearing it today. I would love to see it out and about at our next few trainings. Thank you. Yep, Rooney, that's the end of this video.